Greetings YouTube! This is my first video. It's kind of a little off the cuff. I kind of got a hillbilly setup going, but yeah, this is a top 10 best disturbing movies. You've probably seen a million, like, so-called most disturbing lists, but this one's going to be actually 10 that I think personally are good, and they're also 10 that are actually in my personal collection, so yeah, let's, oh, and it's not really in too much of a particular order outside of, like, the top couple, so. But yeah, for number 10, Audition, which, personally, I think Ichi the Killer is a better Takashi Miike film, but, this one, it's more disturbing because with Ichi the Killer, it's in your face with it. This is more of a slow burn, and if you're not ready for it, I mean, it'll catch you off guard. But, yeah. It's one of those where, if you're gonna watch it, you probably already know what's coming. So, yeah, there's gonna be no edits or anything. I'm just seeing how this goes. So, and then next, we have the original I Spit on Your Grave. Now, I've seen the remake and the sequel, which most people say the sequel to the remake is actually the best. I would agree with that, but this one is more, since it's from the 70s, I believe, it's way more gritty and also more disturbing, and it fits the vibe better because the remakes are more Hollywooded up, I guess, if you want to put it that way. But, oh yeah, sorry for the frame. I'm sitting, if I'm framed a little weird, I'm sitting on the edge of my bed because wacky setup. I wanted to get good enough lighting, but okay. But next, now this one is one that people usually say is kind of the most disturbing film ever, but a disturbing film, and this is the original uncut U.S. release that is basically a CD case taped to a piece of cardboard with the synopsis on the back. So yeah, and the uncut version is I had it upside down. Gotta see the lighting. What the hell? Is 104 minutes. So there's a lot of uncut versions out there that claim to be uncut, but yeah, if it's not 104 minutes, it's cut. So even if it's only like 1 minute less, but yeah, it's one of those that I'm not gonna go in depth on because everybody has already done that, and yeah, it's a little crazy. It's not like if you're trying to get into quote disturbing films, I wouldn't start with that one, but unless you want to jump right into the deep end. But yeah. And next, oh yeah, and I think I said it, but this isn't in order by like most disturbing. It's in order by it's has to be disturbing, but it's also actually good. So, the farther we get up the list, the better they are, in my opinion, anyway. Next, we have Frontiers, which you'll see on a lot of lists of most disturbing films. But this one of the French classics, I guess, because you can probably call it a classic now. It's from 2007, says on the back. So yeah, it's been a while, but copyright. Yeah, because on the back, like it says, the French answer to Hostel and Saw, which, like, it's kind of like not related to those at all. Like, disturbing wise, yes, but like story wise, it's not really. You know what I mean? Like Saw and Hostel are pretty similar. You know what I mean? But neither of those are on this list. Well, Saw isn't really disturbing at all. And Hostel, it's really good, but one, I actually do not have a copy of it. Funny enough, it's on my Christmas list for this year, but the set of 1 and 2. But and next, this one, I don't know if a lot of people would consider it disturbing, but it is really good as well. Requiem for a Dream. I almost thought about replacing this one on the list just so I didn't have to try and pronounce it. But yeah, this actually does have a young Jared Leto in it, which if you consider on the front, it's like a kind of hot with it though. All right, but nice voice crack. Um, but yeah, this one, it's basically a bunch of, it's kind, I don't know if you would call it an anthology, but yeah, basically stories of different drug addicts and stuff, and it's extremely well performed, or whatever you want to call it, or acted, I guess. I don't know why. Well, next, we have Inside, which is a really good slasher flick, like Home Invasion. The one thing I've always said though, the one scene, I try not to spoil too much for these if you haven't seen them, but yeah, there's one scene in the bathroom where the special effects on the guy's head are really, really bad, but yeah. This, basically, the home invader is trying to steal the woman's baby, so, yeah. Long story short, they actually do show the one part that you're kind of like, oh, well, will they show it or not? But, I know I keep trying to fix that, but, yeah, definitely pretty disturbing, but it is a really good film. Home invasion wise, it's definitely up there with Your Next. Your Next is really, really good if you haven't seen that. I mean, that movie's not disturbing, but, you know, it's really good. The next, we have the film that has the plot hole the size of, I can't, whatever Roger Ebert said, that you could, like, drive a semi-truck through or whatever. But, High Tension, really good movie, and, like, the ending twist, I'm not going to spoil it if you haven't heard of it, but, yeah, plus the main character is pretty hot, so, yeah. And, yeah, more or less, yeah, there's a bunch of pretty good I mean, this, is this 2000s? There's bad lighting, so. It's around the same time as a lot of the other French extreme horror films that you hear everybody talk about, so. But yeah, that's really, really good. I still like the ending. I know people rag on it, but I thought it was really cool. And then next, all three of the Firefly trilogy, which, I'm just talking about Devil's Rejects, which most people say that is the best of the Firefly trilogy, more or less. I mean, you have some detractors that like how some A Thousand Corpses better because it's more, um, like ghosty and unrealistic, but most people prefer Devil's Rejects because the characters are more grounded and real, and, you know, of course, Sid Haig and the classic car theft scene, which, but yeah, that is really, really good. Definitely recommend. I mean, you've probably already seen those if, you know, you're interested in horror movies at all. So, and then next, this one, I was kind of debating to put it on here because it is my favorite film of all time, but it's also may or may not be considered disturbing, but at least nowadays. But Natural Born Killers, if you're wondering why it's a triple pack, it's because that's the only Blu-ray version they had when I went to get it. So, yeah, because I'm like, oh, they had a bunch of DVD versions, but I wanted the Blu-ray and original uncut, I guess. But I don't know how many cut versions there are. But yeah, it's definitely my favorite film of all time because it has really good social commentary, even for nowadays, especially with all the online crap. So, and number one, the because this film is actually actually my second favorite of all time. You could probably guess it because it's one of the posters back there. But if you can see those in the video well enough. But Martyrs, there's a crappy US remake, which you don't need to even mention. But this, really good, like psychological, like life questioning in it, I guess, or whatever. And then the ending where it's kind of like, ooh, you can pretty much make up your own ending, you know what I mean? Like, I won't spoil it, but, you know, you can pretty much be like, oh, yeah, well, I think this was said, you know? But, yeah, amazing film. This right here is a 10 out of 10. I know a lot of people, even people that like these types of movies, probably won't say it's 10 out of 10, but for me, pretty much, I mean, I'm sure there's flaws in the movie, but, you know, flawless. But, yeah. That is number one. The best disturbing movie ever. And there's a bunch of, I guess, honorable mentions. Like, you could throw in all the compilation videos, like with all the Live Leak, Ogrish, and Rotten.com, and Best Gore, and uh, Chaotic, and all that. Like the compilation tapes, like Fubar and MD Pope and that. But I obviously don't have any of those. That's kind of cringe to have those, I'm not gonna lie, on DVD or whatever. But, yeah. That's my top 10 best disturbing films of all time. Um, yeah, this was off the cuff, no script or anything, so hopefully it's I. But yeah, this is my first. I've put up a number of shorts because I just made my YouTube recently. I'm mainly on TikTok. Have a decent amount of followers on there, like a little over 3K. So if you want to follow me on there, my @ on TikTok is the same as here on YouTube. I invented chill with underscores in between each word. So yeah. I hope the framing of the video and angle isn't too brazy, but yeah. That is the top 10. And I have to stop the video, so appreciate y'all for watching.